¿Cómo estamos, mi gente linda? Dios me lo bendiga. How you doing, my people? God bless you. A little bit of mecánica, un ratito mecánica. Hoy estamos trabajando en este Chevy Traverse 2014, Chevrolet Traverse 2014. Ahí tenemos al maestro Juan. Master Chan, how you doing? Master Chan is searching information for this case. So, what's going on with this car? ¿Qué está pasando con este carro? El problema es que el customer estaba manejando y de repente sintió un sonido o un RPM muy alto del carro. Entonces, inesperadamente vino ese sonido y él se fue a su AutoZone a hacer que le metan el escáner para chequearlo. El código que le está dando es de un 07 P0756 P0756, lo cual es un problema de solenoid de la transmisión. So the customer was driving this car, so he feel an issue in there. The RPMs went up suddenly, So there, uh, and the noise came by the engine, and the customer were, thinking something wrong in the car. He went to the AutoZone and make the free test on there. And the code we're gonna be working is the P0756, so it's about the solenoid and transmission. So Master Chang is searching information there. So we're gonna see what's going on. So we're gonna check solenoid then. Alright guys, let's do it. Mi gente linda, pusimos un retenedor de batería ahí. La batería de este carro está bien fea de encontrar. Está acá dentro de los asientos del medio. So there's the battery port is on the middle of this car, so it's not on the front and the engine next to the engine is at the front. So we had to find this one, put a battery retainer, because we're gonna put the computer in there, but if we don't do this, the battery is gonna die, It's gonna use a lot of energy in there. So now we can put the computer. We're gonna leave that thing in there, because as you can see, the lights, everything are on. If we leave it like that, the battery is gonna die soon. So all right, let's put the computer now. Put the computer in. Vamos a poner la computadora. Let's see. This has to be a GM car. Not gonna be like, you're not gonna find it as Chevy. You're gonna see as a Jeep, as a GM. No vas a encontrarlo como Chevy aquí en el scanner, sino vas a encontrar como GM. So it's scanning now. As you can see, there's no code to the engine. It says the transmission pass, so as you can see, we don't have codes and the transmission, but here's the problem. The customer talks the when she feels a problem when the code came to the dash, that she took it to the AutoZone, and the problem is that those guys erase the code. That's not a good thing for us, because we need a code, to duplicate the problem, but we don't have the codes right now. The only code I have in here is inflate resistant sensing and diagnostic model. And this thing is having the same issue, but this is related about the passenger side airbag deployment loop high resistance. So we're gonna check it later, but we're gonna talk to the customer, because he has to feel the problem again, because we can do nothing about it, because as you see, I can't see any code in here about the transmission, so we need to duplicate it. So el problema está que el customer tomó este carro cuando sintió la falla, salió la luz en el dash, lo llevó al AutoZone. Entonces en el AutoZone chequearon el código, el cual está ahí, el papel. Entonces lo que pasa que ellos hicieron, lo malo que hicieron ellos es de borrar el código, lo cual nos afecta a nosotros porque no podemos duplicar el problema. Y para saber el problema necesitamos duplicarlo, pero no podemos duplicarlo si no regresa. Tenemos que, el costo me tiene que andar el carro para sentir el problema de nuevo. Pero como digo, lo más recomendable ahora, y lo cual el customer ya probó, sería, ya que nuestros carros Ford tiene muchos problemas de transmisión. La transmisión, el aceite se sobrecalienta, no sé, y la transmisión se va. Entonces lo mejor recomendable es cambiarle el aceite de transmisión y ponerle un nuevo para así evitar un futuro daño y que vaya a hacer que este carro se quede sin transmisión, ya que estos carros Chevy siempre dan el mismo problema. So, as you see, the best thing we can do here, customer already approved the you know the fix is about the change the transmission fluid. It's gonna be the best thing in this car, because remember, the Chevys always have the same issue in the transmission, because I don't know what happened there, but for safety and for trying to save the in the future big damage, and there is the best thing is to change the transmission fluid, and we're gonna open the pen. You're gonna see is the pen in there, because the solenoids are not outside, they're inside. So we're gonna do gonna do it, open the pen and replace the filter, and gonna see if we can see the um, the solenoid. We can remove it. We do that diagnose outside, so we're gonna do it. All right, let's go. Ok, mi amada gente, aquí estaba Master Jan chequeando. Hemos acabado ya con este carro. Entonces tenemos varias cosas. Estamos chequeando el código, pero cuando chequeamos todo el diagrama del carro, los solenoides no están acá adentro, no están acá afuera, están adentro. Entonces está bien difícil llegar a ellos. So la única manera que encontramos nosotros, so there's the only way we can see in this car, or to see the filter or check the filter, is this thing in there. This is the port where you charge the transmission fluid. So that has bolts in there. So we think we had to remove this thing, and we're gonna see the filter. But when we were inspecting the car, the transmission fluid was too low. Can you explain that, Master John?
Well, when we check the transmission fluid, which is right on top here, we turn on the car to check it, and it was empty. Like
tell him about you when you drive it.
Oh, and when you drive the car, it struggles to change from second to third shift. It goes up to like 3,500 RPM, and then it changes.
So tell him about the solenoid B. It was a second and third gear,
Yeah,
right?
second and
Maybe
third
it's the
shift.
relay that was the problem, no?
Yeah, it could be the relay or the valve, but the relay and the valves are inside the transmission.
No. I'm talking about can be the only problem was the same issue, the fluid was low, because when we see the code was saying that there's a problem in second and third.
Second, third shift.
Yeah, and when you drive it, that was the problem, going to second and third.
Yeah, but when we check it was low on transmission fluid, so we put on some oil now.
Now, Master John, can you explain about the hose and the transmission return?
Yeah, we believe this is the return hose for the transmission.
You have to check on the diagram.
Yeah, we have to check. And on the bottom over here, this plastic with the rubbery plastic.
Going under the plastic cover, you see there's that line is going to the radiator. That's a coolant line.
Yeah, we believe that That's a pressure hose. That's a pressure hose. And we believe that line is leaking somewhere. We're not sure where yet.
We think the leak is coming from the mirror. We think the hose is broken, has a hole in there, because when we were checking under, there was a transmission fluid in there leaking on this hose. So we think this hose has a leak, it's defective. So we're gonna continue checking. We're gonna see next time the customer brings this car. We're gonna see if we can transmission fluid leaking from here. So that means this hose needs to be replaced. This hose is connected to over here and going to the radiator. So right now we put the fluid. Can you play that one, Master John? Where I put the fluid in there?
Yeah, we put fluid here, transmission fluid through there. And now hopefully it turns fine. I mean, it should fine. We're hoping. But we believe the leak is coming from the
Return line, I think.
Yeah, return line. It's a type of pressure line.
Yeah.
From the transmission. There's two though. There's one here and the other one.
Yeah, one has to be coming out from the transmission, the other one returning the fluid in there.
Somewhere in the corner.
So as I hear, always the Chevys has a problem with the hoses, even same with the remember the power steering?
Yeah,
yeah, those lines, always have the issue. So maybe there's the same issue in this car. Maybe the only problem in this car is you're losing fluid, transmission fluid, and when the transmission fluid is low, start having problems with when you shifting the car. So we're gonna talk about the customer to keep in mind. We have check next time how is the fluid. If he lose the fluid again, so that means we have to replace that line, because that's the only line we can see transmission fluid coming out. So alright guys, that's it. That's all we can do. So alright, Master John, can you say something?
No, just take care, be careful out there.
Alright, God bless you guys. A little bit on the can. Master John went to the road to test the car, see the transmission fluid makes any difference. So Master John, can you explain what happened there?
The first time I drove the car, went from second to third shift, it went to 3.5 RPMs. That's when it went to third shift. Now since we put a bit of transmission fluid and it now went to 2.5 RPM, to going to second to third shift. It's much better in shifting now since we put the fluid in there. So it could be just leaking transmission fluid. It's leaking from somewhere. And
we already know, that hose in there is broken, because there's no work. There's not making sense where transmission fluid coming. Yeah. So it should be that hose, but we had to find out where. But Master Chan did the diagnosis in there, so that's all we have. I'll let you know if you have anything, boys. So God bless you now. A little bit of mechanic.